an unfortunate incident on the way home with a cup of soda spilling all over the car. Got in the driveway with the dinner, put the car in park, shut the engine off, get up, get out of the car, open the door, grab the soda that's in the cup holder and pull it, and it hits the lip of the armrest, lid pops off, cup tips over, whole cup of soda just dumped right down that little gap between the seats, and ice. Uh, so yes, it was a fun hour and a half between when work ended and when we went on the air tonight. So let's we're gonna turn that frown upside down, right? All right. So what are we looking at here? So we had. How can I do this? Maybe if I make it a little more narrow. All right. So we went from 27 billion up to 84 billion. 5-star rare went from 21 to 47. 5-star. So basically, the materials kind of doubled, and the raw materials tripled. 5-star common doubled. Epic. Yeah. Okay. So they basically doubled the materials in the battle pass and tripled the basic resources. Okay. Regular or diet? It was diet soda. It was my wife's soda, of course. So now it'll have that lovely artificial sweetener smell. Sorella, you're going to go for the Fleet Commander slot unlocked. I mean, that's what everybody wants, right? Is the Fleet Commander slot, and it's going to cost you 180K, and we're all wondering like, what are we going to do for sourcing? The other thing I did hear Hamster confirm is that the ticket events are going to work like they did 2 months ago during the last event store month. The regular ticket events will not have any event store loot in them. There will only be loot in the rare event. So you got to do all 9 to get your rare ticket, and if you finish your rare event, then you will get some extra event store currency. No idea if it will be the same as last time, because if I remember last time correctly, it was only like 9,000 per rare ticket, which was really low. And he did also say that, there's none in the battle pass. There will be some scattered throughout events, especially in more of the leaderboard type events. So we're going to see more of like this type stuff where you got to rank in the leaderboard to get the event store currency, which again, we know how leaderboards work. Do you want to get in the top slots? Typically, it's going to involve some type of spending. And at that point in time, you're honestly just better off if you're going to spend $50 or $100 to buy a Forbidden Tech upgrade pack so you can rank in the top 5 or top 10 so you can get what, 8,000 currency? Just buy a damn point ticket pack or currency pack then and call it a day. Free to play, I don't know what we're going to get in terms of value. I don't know what it's going to be. But if you're even remotely thinking about, like, if I have to compete in SLBs and you're thinking about buying a pack to spend to meet said SLBs, don't do it. Just buy this and take the 200K. Make this your one purchase for the whole month, because there's nothing you're going to do from winning any particular individual event that's going to equal the 200K that you're getting out of the pack. Winning this event gets you 24,000. And what would you even have to spend? What are the total? If I have to beat this guy, he's got 1.8 million points is what I would have to beat to win to get 24K. If I don't have these materials stocked up and I'm thinking about even buying anything, don't do it. Just skip the event completely and skip the other ones the rest of the month too, and just spend your money and buy one pack with the points in it and just do it that way. But as far as how else it's going to be, what you'll be able to source. Maybe there'll be 200K in, just regular events, and maybe you'll just have to chip away. Hopefully some alliance leaderboards might get you some points. Or even if you just like, hey, I got 26 to 50th and I got 1200. Maybe that's enough over the course of 5 or 6 events. Maybe that'll be the extra, 10 or 15,000 you need to get to the 100 and whatever. Like right now, there aren't even 50 people on my leaderboard. So I could actually just do anything and get in the top 50. So now I got to go look and see if I have any forbidden tech I can upgrade. Do I have any points that I can do any upgrades on some forbidden tech? Why, yes, I do. Would you look at that? Hey, what do we got right here? My warhead. Let's level it up. That was worth 100,000 points. Awesome. Les, you just hit Ops 39. Awesome. Congrats. Free to play has to get more than 175K. They have to know that. That if you if you do full participation in events and you finish all the SMSs that are, accessible free to play, and you come up with less than 180,000, that is going to be such a PR disaster, and you're probably going to see a lot of people quit playing, which is just going to create this little backlash and negative spiral over something as stupid as a fleet commander slot. If they don't source enough event store currency, it may not be much more, right? Free to play might only get 200 or 225. But if you don't get at least that amount to get the fleet commander slot, then it's going to be even more painfully obvious than it already is now that everything in this game is solely designed for one purpose, and that's to make you spend money to even play anymore. Not even to win, but even just it's pay to participate is what it seems like it's been moving the last few months, with more paywalls and more time gates and things like that, and more gated content. And if the fleet commander slot is not available free to play this month, it is absolutely going to reinforce that point and drive it home that this is strictly a pay to participate game now. And that'll be the end for a lot of people. They'll be like, well, why am I wasting my time then? Because I'm not going to spend money on this game, especially in the dollar amounts that they want for everything. So, yeah. So I think they have to give out at least 225. At least that. Players can walk away saying, hey, I got my fleet commander slot unlocked and I picked up, a handful of officer shards. They won't feel great about it, but they'll be like, at least I got that much. And that'll, keep the fires low, keep the pitchforks on the shelf where they belong for now. But it's kind of where it would have to be. So Timmy says that free to play should be looking at around 250. And again, that would make sense to me that it would have to be somewhere in that neighborhood, at least, if not higher, because if it's not, all hell's going to break loose. So, no. Bye-bye. Thanks for playing. Go away. You agree with the 225, but your guess is it'll mostly come at the end when they figure out they didn't do enough? Probably. You'll have the last week or so, you'll have people realizing, oh, either, yeah, we need to really ramp it up, or they've already thought about it and realized this, and they're like, no, we're going to slow roll everybody just to see if we can get people to spend, and buy some packs between now and then, or people who get impatient, who just want the fleet commander slot now, might buy some points, and or the people who might really want to do the event, right? So we have the events. So you got these supply runs that they're going to run 3 of every 5 days. So the first 15 days of the arc, these values, we're going to get little amounts, right? Small amounts every single day. So if you actually want to try and do something in one of these, you're not going to have enough resistance chits to do anything with. And maybe you're going to buy a pack to get more so you can do better in this and you can make sure you finish in the top whatever that you need to finish in. And then the final week, when it's top 25 spenders and it's the last 5 days of the arc, you're going to see your events have more value in them, or more events are going to run. And that's where they'll pump it up right before the end of the month, which is a very transparent strategy we've seen them do before, and would not surprise me at all to see it repeated again. The last 5 days of the month, the amount always goes up because now it's okay, if you wanted to get something early in the month, you bought a pack to get more points so you could get the thing you wanted then. You could tier up your officers, you could get your fleet commander slot, you could do whatever it was you were going to do. And now, if you've been patient and waited for 15 days, now we'll let you know that you're actually, yes, you are going to get enough to get the thing that you probably wanted from the beginning. So that is a very, very likely scenario, certainly one we have seen on more than one occasion in the past. So for those of you newer to the game who may not be familiar with their patterns and styles, there's a little insight into what we might be able to expect going forward for the rest of this month and perhaps other months. Because again, they just copy and paste shit from previous months. Or they can extend it a week. That's the other possibility too, right? Is that they extend the event store a couple extra days, and then the first 1 or 2 days after the arc is over, during the week we have in between, they throw out an extra event or two with a little bit more loot, and you're like, well, damn it, if I had known they were going to do this, I wouldn't have spent all my stuff already, and I would have invested it differently. That's what we saw 2 months ago. I think they realized they came up a little short, and we're like, I know how to fix that. Barkman has redeemed no cursing. Okay. Well, I guess for the next 5 minutes, I will have to watch my potty mouth. But if you, again, we don't know what's going to be in the actual ticket events, but just keep in mind that you will not get any event store currency from the uncommon tickets. You will have to do the rares if you want to do that. And free to play should be able to do 1 rare ticket per month, which would require them to basically save all of their tickets earned and use them all on the same weekend. Oh, look. Somebody else. Wow, that's two bots in a row. Timmy would support a 3rd week heavy event store credit supply for events that are achievable but not with crazy milestones. Hopefully the milestones will be pretty reasonable. All right, and we'll get some extra MU wave credits. That brings me to my next question, which is something I'm curious about with you guys. Oh, first off, I gotta say, hi, Jaws. How's it going? Welcome back. We haven't seen you in a while. Where's you been? Is you all better? Or you forgo most of the events have loads of tickets saved up. That's the thing too. If you have tickets saved up, you can do more. But realistically speaking, if you're free to play and you haven't saved any tickets, if you save them all, from weekend 1 and weekend 2, you can do weekend 3s and get your rare ticket. I don't even know. I know I have enough. I've got 20 of these. I forget if it's this account or my other account. One of them actually I think has a rare ticket because I did all the events and then did like the rewards, and I'm like, I'll just keep the rare ticket. I guess it's my other account because it would be here, and it's not. It's like I will just keep that rare ticket and save it for something when I'm actually needing it more. Not all stroke. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I mean, thankfully, like you're still alive and everything. We like that, and hopefully, obviously, whatever physical therapy and things you have to do, speech therapy, you know, start to help you make some progress and feel like your old self. But um, damn, I'm sorry to hear that. Everybody send some positive thoughts over to Jaws. We're gonna go kill some freebooters here and finish this stuff up real quick. But the question I had for people, the mirror universe wave defense. Not anymore, Barkman. You can if you can say it on TV, it's not really a curse anymore, right? I mean, like regular TV, like network TV at like 6 o'clock. But the question I had was these SMS events that require you to go into the mirror universe waves and kill 30 hostiles with specific ships in order to get enough points. Did anyone? How many players were able to finish all three of these? And if you did, could you also please post your ops level? Or if you didn't, could you post your ops level? Like I'm ops 42, and no, I couldn't do it because I feel like there was an issue with sourcing on the wave mirror universe tickets because the cooldown on it is 3 days in the Section 31 store. You basically you take 1,000, or if you have them, you can spend 1,500 mirror credits, and you convert them into 150 wave defense ciphers, which is enough to run one. So you can either, if you have the old credits, just convert them, or if you have the new credits, you can spend 1,000 of the new credits to get the 1,500 of the old credits that you need, so you can then run one more wave. But the cooldown on this is a 3 day cooldown, and they gave us 5 to start, which was 750, and then they gave us the dossier missions. If you're in your 40s, you only got one of those, though. If you're in your 50s, you got two of them, and each of those had 300 in it. So there was, potentially up to 4 more runs there, and then you could run this for one more. So that would be 5 plus the 5 they gave us. So a maximum of 10 runs if you're in your 50s. If you're in your 40s, it's a maximum of 8 runs total. And a lot of people on my other account, my free-to-play account, and my alliance, who are all players in the low to mid 40s, were basically saying it was taking them 3 runs to complete the SMSs for that. So here they were today, and they're like, well, I only have like 1 run left, and I already did this and can't use my cooldown. And I can maybe go in and get a handful of kills, and we'll see what happens. But for the most part, they needed to do 3 runs, so they basically couldn't finish today's event. And I was just sort of curious how many other people out there might have had a similar problem. So Nevin was able to finish them at Ops 56. Lloydson got yours done, 1 run apiece. Ace Ops 56 is going to do the same. SK's got 2 of them so far, is going to attempt the third later. Barkman's Ops 53 and came up 7 kills short. Lloydson's Ops 53. Yeah, that's what it feels like, right? If you're 53 and up and you have a G5 ship, you probably didn't have too much problems with this, unless your G5 ship wasn't the right type. If you have a battleship and it happened to be the day where it was Explorer and Interceptor, you're like, I don't know if I can. I've got to I've got to use Voyager and like my Talios to go fight this stuff. And how many of those things can I kill? Can I get 30 kills? How many runs is that going to take? But I mean, if you're higher than that, yeah. If you're in your 40s, though, is where I was hearing a lot of players express their issues. But then again, no matter what they really say, this new mirror universe content is not intended for 40 plus players. These new waves here, these level 40 waves, are a copy of the level 50 waves that they scaled down the power level slightly on. So realistically, anybody 46 and under, if you're not using a 46 rare in this, you're going to struggle after the first wave or two. And as far as specialty ships go, you've got to be at least 47 or 48 because they're all ops locked at certain tiers to really get them to a tier where they can be competitive. So if you're not in your high 40s, this content, after the first one wave, maybe second wave, you're basically resorted to mining duty, which is what the 30s felt like over here. After the first wave or two, the 30s were like, I'll just go chase down the miners. And now over here, it's players in the mid 40s are basically chasing down the miners after the second wave. Some of them not even that much. Some of them get the first wave and they're like, okay, what do I do now? Because the second one already scales up enough that, yeah, it's an issue. Nevin's got lower ops teammates that are really struggling. Sure. Timmy's got the same thing. Need more directives to be realistic. Okay. If you've got 50s plus to carry, you can easily clear it. Yeah, definitely the 50s. People 56 and up, even 53 are doing really well in this. 56 and up are definitely having trouble. If you got people, in G6s, these are super easy still. Because again, not exactly designed for that kind of content. It's kind of like G4 plus, like G4 heroic is kind of what this is. So, but as far as you individually being able to complete your SMS, if you're in your 40s, that's what I'm hearing people say is that they're having trouble with it. So, also that's the other thing too, right? Because of the limited sourcing with directives, you know, your high G5, G6 players, they can't carry a lot of people, right? They only got 8 or 9 runs, and they know they need at least 3 of them for themselves for one each day. Well, they got 10 runs if they did everything, right? So how many extra runs can they really do without having to buy something to try and help out the rest of their alliance? 5 or 6? And if you squeeze 4 people in, then they can help 25 people. And if you got 80 people in an alliance, well, then 50 of them are kind of getting left out. And you got to spread that out over 3 days. So realistically, you can, if you're a high G5 or even a G6 player, and you want to help out your alliance, well, if you got basically 3 a day, if you do the missions and the turn in and whatnot, you've got 3 per day to use. 1 for yourself, and then you can run 2 extras to help other people. So you're helping 8 other people, and that's basically it. The math is not mathing. Problem is everyone needs 30 kills. Well, there's that too, yeah. So obviously you got to get the first, even if you have the higher level players helping carry you to the higher things, then you can chase down more miners. So at least there's that, you get 10 or so kills in the first 2 waves, 15 kills in the first 2 waves, and then hopefully over the rest of the time you can chase down a handful of other miners and not have to do maybe you only have to do 2 runs then instead of 3, and then you have enough, and then the level 40 players would have enough. But it requires a lot of like planning and coordination and things like that and with a very limited sourcing to do it, and it leaves people feeling bad. They walk away feeling like there's none of these events on the calendar for the rest of the month, and maybe they'll show up and they'll be added later. But if you look at the calendar, which we'll do in a second here, now that I'm done claiming stuff, let's go back to base. If you look at the calendar, currently, the way it sits right now, these new Mirror Universe events, this attack pattern events that are here, this Protect the Core event, this is the only time they're running. They may add more events when the new wave season starts on July 16th, but as of right now, they're only running this series of events on week 1. And they ran them all back to back to back, which means you can't space them out and you can't use your 3-day cooldown on your faction tab to get extra runs to try to be able to complete this. You get the 5 we gave you up front. You can grab a mission that might get you 2 more, 6, 7. If you're in your 50s, you get an extra mission that gives you 8, 9, and you can do 1 turn in. So you're maxing out at 8, which you have to spread out over 3 days. And you have to get 30 kills per day. Definitely some people who are going to be left out and come up short and are going to walk away feeling bad about the new content and about the cooldown and the way that the whole thing worked. Absolutely. Why bunch them up? Exactly, right? If there's nothing else on the counter, and this is the only time you're running this event, the only reason to bunch them up is because you want people to waste their directives and then go buy more. Which I'm sure they're selling a pack in here, aren't they? Oh, there's a new beam projectile. Oh, would you look at that? There's all your field repairs. Oh, hey, here's your Cypher premium packs. And even there, they even gave you an extra $20 pack that has 2 2/5, 2.4 event starts. Like, why? Why put 60? Why? Why do this? Why? Why? Why put an uneven number that people are just going to have left carried over? Well, because 2 seemed like not enough, and 3 was too many, so... yeah. So is this what they were hoping? That players would come up a little bit short, and they'd be like, well, it's only 20 bucks. I guess I'll just buy the extra one. It's like, if you're going to spend 20 bucks, or if you're going to buy the premium pack, which is 50, that's why they did it like that. Because they just divided it. Right? 900 divided by 2.5, 360. Oh God, it's that stupid. It really is that stupid. We went from a $50 pack to a $20 pack. Well, that's 2.5 times as cheap, so we'll just divide the materials we're giving you by 2.5, and it'll be fine. Oh, I'm laughing and crying at the same time. Oh, that's going on YouTube. Oh. Well, there you go. Mystery solved. Why is it 360? That's why it's 360. Carissa points out we don't know how the wave defense scoring will change. This is true, although at least in the calendar event, it does say that either wave will count. The newest wave defense season begins here and will score both the existing and new wave defense systems, that they will both count. So whatever you have to do, completing however many, 5 waves to complete the milestones to get the points for the season pass. Of course, it could be higher. They could change the number and make you have to do more than 5. Maybe now it'll be 6 or 7 waves you'll have to finish, or maybe it will be more of a killing targets instead of just a get to survive to X wave kind of thing. Yeah. After the afternoon I've had, that was a good laugh. I think I needed that. I think I needed that.